Welcome back to Investing Talk Podcast. Today we're zooming in on NIO, the Chinese electric vehicle maker, as we gear up for their crucial Q2 2025 earnings report. Our goal is to cut through the noise, equipping you with the vital insights from the latest information so you know exactly what to watch, what factors could sway the stock, and the various paths this report could take. Before we jump into the numbers, if you find value in our discussions, please take a moment to hit that subscribe button, like this discussion, and leave us a comment. Your support truly helps us keep going. And if there's a specific company or topic you'd like us to look into, just leave a comment below after we wrap up this discussion. We also appreciate any support you can offer by considering buying us a coffee. All right, let's dive into this upcoming report from NIO. It's always a whirlwind around earnings season. So to kick things off, when is this report dropping and what are the market's initial expectations for NIO's performance?
Okay, yeah, the date is set. It's confirmed for September 2, 2025, right before market open. And when we look at the analyst consensus, the expectation is for revenue of $2.76 billion. That would represent a pretty solid 14.8% year-over-year growth.
Not bad.
And on the earnings per share front, analysts are projecting a loss of $0.30 per share. Now, while that is still a loss, it's actually an 11.8% improvement from the same quarter last year, which is, a key detail.
So a loss is expected, but an improving loss. That's a subtle but important distinction, right?
Exactly. It shows movement in the right direction, theoretically.
Beyond these official analyst figures, are there any whisper numbers floating around or other less formal market clues hinting at expectations?
Well, explicit whisper numbers aren't really being widely cited for this one, but the options activity leading into this report is definitely signaling heightened expectations. Traders are certainly betting on a significant move.
The options market, always telling.
Definitely. And crucially, NIO itself provided Q2 2025 delivery guidance of 72,000 to 75,000 vehicles, and they successfully met that target with 72,056 deliveries.
Okay, so they hit their own number.
They did, and their revenue guidance was RMB 18.5 19.0 billion, which translates to approximately $2.69 $2.77 billion.
It sounds like they hit their own delivery targets, which is a good operational sign. But when you put those delivery numbers and NIO's own revenue guidance against the analyst consensus you mentioned, what's the core insight here for someone watching this stock? What does this initial set of numbers really tell us?
Well, the core insight here is a classic good news, high expectations sort of dilemma. NIO delivered on its own guidance, which is, like you said, a strong testament to their operational execution in what's still a tough market.
Right.
But the market's bar for revenue, that $2.76 billion, is at the higher end or even slightly above NIO's own guidance range. So for you, this means while operational strength is clearly there, investors are demanding, accelerated growth to validate current valuations, not just meeting internal targets. There's little room for anything less than a significant beat, especially on that revenue figure.
That makes perfect sense. The market always wants more, doesn't it? To truly understand if those high expectations are realistic, we probably need to look at NIO's track record because, the market has a long memory and sometimes a short fuse. How has NIO performed against expectations in previous quarters and perhaps more importantly, how did the market react?
Yeah, that's a critical question because NIO's history with earnings surprises is quite mixed. It's almost a roller coaster of reactions, actually. In Q1 2025, reported just a couple of months ago on June 3rd, they missed significantly by $9.23. Actual EPS was $9.45 versus a consensus of $9.22.
Oof, big miss.
Huge miss. Yet the stock reaction was surprisingly muted. It was actually at 0.28% the next day.
Really? That's counterintuitive.
It is. Contrast that with Q4 2024, reported March 21st. There they had a modest beat, but saw a negative price reaction of -4.46%.
So a beat led to a drop.
Exactly. In Q3 2024, back in November, had mixed results with a minimal plus 0.43% price reaction. And then you had a strong positive reaction of plus 14.39% after Q2 2024, reported September 5th of last year.
Wow. It almost feels like the market has a mind of its own sometimes. Those reactions seem all over the place. A big miss, no big drop, a beat, and it falls. But despite these seemingly illogical short-term moves, you mentioned some underlying metric trends are positive. What are those and how do they paint a more fundamental picture for NIO?
Absolutely. The short-term price reactions can be perplexing, often driven more by sentiment, maybe the overall market mood, rather than just the pure numbers. However, looking at the underlying business, we are seeing some really encouraging trends. Vehicle deliveries, for instance, are showing strong, consistent growth. Those Q2 2025 deliveries at 72,056 represent a 25.6% year-over-year increase.
That's solid growth.
It is. And we're also seeing vehicle margins improving steadily. They went from 9.2% in Q1 2024 up to 10.2% in Q1 2025.
Okay, margin improvement is key.
Very key. And this is a crucial contributor to a broader gross margin recovery trend, moving from 4.9% in Q1 2024 to 7.6% in Q1 2025.
Those improving margins are definitely a stronger, more fundamental signal than the market's immediate mood swings, I'd say. But isn't there a risk that in such a fiercely competitive market, those gains could be quickly eroded? They have to cut prices on the new ONVO or ES8 models to maintain market share, especially with BYD and Tesla breathing down their necks. What do these mixed reactions and improving operational trends tell us about investor sentiment and NIO's underlying business health, especially given the sector's cutthroat nature?
That's a perfectly valid concern, and it really highlights the ongoing tightrope NIO walks. While the market's immediate reaction is often driven by short-term sentiment and the narrative of the moment, which, can override actual numbers, the improving vehicle and gross margins are critical for long-term health. It tells us that despite the fierce competition and pricing pressure in the EV market, NIO is finding ways to become more efficient and extract more value from each vehicle sold.
So a sign of maturity.
Exactly. A sign of underlying operational maturity and a crucial step towards sustainable profitability. Long-term investors are keenly watching for this trajectory to continue, even as they keep an eye on potential pricing strategies for these new models.
So it's a balancing act. Market sentiment versus fundamental improvements.
Whoa.
Makes sense. Beyond the pure financials, what significant company news and broader market trends occurred during the quarter that could influence this NIO report? Because the company's story is never just about the numbers on a spreadsheet, right?
Indeed, no. And a lot has been shaping NIO's story recently. One major development is the official launch of their new, more affordable brand, ONVO L90, on July 31st, 2025.
Right, the sub-brand.
Yeah, and it's already showing exceptional early performance. We're talking over 7,000 deliveries in just the first 21 days of August.
Wow, 7,000 in 3 weeks. That's impressive.
It's a huge shot in the arm. And they also began pre-orders for the third-generation ES8 on August 21st, 2025, with the official launch slated for NIO Day in September. Operationally, NIO hit a significant milestone, too, reaching 800,000 vehicles produced overall back in July. That showcases their scaling capabilities.
Okay, lots happening operationally.
And adding to this positive momentum, we saw JP Morgan upgrade NIO to overweight from neutral on August 26. They raised its price target to $8 and added NIO to its positive catalyst watch.
Oh, interesting.
And they specifically cited Q2 earnings, the ES8 pricing reveal, and NIO Day as key drivers for that call.
That's a fascinating mix of company-specific tailwinds, new brands, production milestones, analyst upgrades. It's a lot of good news. But how does the wider market context play into this? Because what's happening globally, or even just in China, can totally shift the perception of these company-specific wins.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking at the broader context, the Chinese EV market continues to show remarkable resilience. It's still strongly supported by government backing for EV adoption, which is a massive tailwind for companies like NIO.
That government support is huge.
It is. And their early bet on battery swap technology is also gaining broader industry acceptance. You've got CATL planning to build 1,000 stations in 2025, which kind of validates a core part of NIO's unique strategy.
A validation for the battery swap model.
Right. However, it's absolutely crucial to remember there's relentless pricing pressure from formidable competitors like Tesla and BYD.
Always the competition.
Always. This means even with these positive developments, the market is still extremely competitive. And overall, recent analyst commentary shows a mixed sentiment. There's still a hold consensus rating and an average price target of $7.63, reflecting both the positives and the formidable challenges ahead.
So we have all these impressive company-specific achievements, analyst optimism from JPM at least, and positive market trends, but with the persistent shadow of intense competition and a kind of lukewarm hold consensus from analysts overall. When you put all those factors together, what story do you think investors will be looking to confirm or debunk when this report drops?
Well, it creates a really interesting setup, doesn't it? On one hand, the market clearly has a lot of positive news to digest, which could fuel optimism, especially around the ONVO brand as a significant new growth engine.
Right, the potential game changer.
Exactly. On the other hand, that broad market skepticism, evidenced by the hold consensus, means investors are looking for concrete proof. Proof that these catalysts are translating into sustainable financial performance, not just headlines or delivery numbers. So this report will be a critical test of whether that operational momentum, particularly with the new models, can truly overcome the competitive pressures and justify the stock's recent rally.
Okay, the pressure's on then. Now, let's talk about the stock's behavior leading up to earnings. Sometimes the how investors react is as important as the what in the report. What's the technical setup looking like, and what are the options market signaling about expected volatility and direction?
Yeah, the pre-earnings price action has been quite strong. Very strong, actually. NIO has seen a robust 53.6% year-to-date gain
Wow, over 50% already this year.
and an impressive 7 consecutive trading sessions of gains leading right up to this report. The stock has actually doubled from its yearly lows of $3.14 to current levels around $6.70.
Double from the lows.
Yeah. Technical indicators show the relative strength index, the RSI, at 74.02. That's technically in overbought territory.
Okay, flashing a warning sign there.
A little bit, yeah. Though the MACD indicator is showing a bullish crossover, suggesting momentum could still be there, but perhaps getting stretched, as you say.
Doubling from its lows and 7 straight days of gains, that's a lot of positive sentiment baked in already. It reminds me of that old market adage, buy the rumors, sell the news.
It certainly sets up that possibility.
What about the options market? You mentioned it earlier. It often gives us a clearer picture into expected volatility around these events.
Yeah, the options activity is certainly striking. The put-call ratio is 0.21,
Very low.
extremely low, which typically indicates strong bullish sentiment, meaning many more call options, bets on the price rising are being bought than put options. We've also seen call volume exceed expectations significantly. We're talking 174,109 calls trading, which is about a 6-fold increase over normal levels.
6 times normal call volume.
And crucially, the implied volatility, or IV, is quite elevated. It's ranging from 81.60% up to 89.33%.
Whoa, that's high IV.
Very high. This suggests the options market is pricing in a significant move post-earnings, roughly plus or minus 10% to 12%.
Okay, so a big swing expected.
A big swing. And there's also a high gamma environment with notable options activity in the weekly contracts, which can potentially amplify price swings around key strike prices as options dealers hedge.
So high expectations, high implied volatility, a lot of bullish bets in the options market. It sounds like there's a lot of excitement, but also maybe a lot of risk priced in. What do these technical indicators and options data tell us about the market's expectations and potential volatility for you as someone considering NIO?
It absolutely points to a high-stakes moment, no doubt about it. The strong pre-earnings run-up, combined with that bullish options activity and the super high implied volatility, tells us the market is expecting a strong report, perhaps even a stellar one.
Right.
The risk, however, is that such high expectations leave very little room for error. If NIO merely meets expectations or delivers anything less than a significant beat and strong outlook, the stock could easily see that sell the news reaction you mentioned.
Because it's already priced in.
Precisely. Because all the positive catalysts might have already been factored into the price ahead of time, leaving no further upside surprise. So, fundamental improvements might not translate to immediate stock gains if the market anticipated them. That 10-12% implied move is a clear warning that significant volatility is expected. If you're holding or considering a position, this isn't a time for complacency.
Definitely sounds like a setup for fireworks.
Yeah.
With all these factors in play, the high expectations, the operational improvements, the market catalyst, and this charged technical setup, what are the potential bullish and bearish cases for NIO's earnings? And if we had to pick one, what single metric should we really be focusing on in that report?
Okay, let's break down the scenarios. The bullish case, it has several strong points. The strong Q2 delivery numbers, 72,056 vehicles, could certainly support a revenue beat, especially if they come in at the higher end of their own guidance or exceed the consensus slightly. The ONVO L90's exceptional early performance, remember, over 7,000 deliveries in its first 21 days of August, clearly demonstrates new model success and hints at strong future growth potential. That suggests positive momentum carrying into Q3.
Good point.
We could also see continued vehicle margin expansion, building on that upward trend we discussed, and maybe positive guidance for Q3 and Q4 deliveries, driven by these new model launches. The expanding battery swap network and its industry validation also add to this positive outlook for, long-term strategic advantage.
All right, that sounds pretty compelling on the bull side.
Yeah.
What about the bears?
Right. On the flip side, the bearish case, this considers a potential revenue miss. Not necessarily a huge one, but enough to disappoint, maybe due to that ongoing pricing pressure and intense competition in China.
Okay.
We might see margin compression, the opposite of the bull case, if there's an aggressive pricing strategy for the new ES8 and L90 models needed to gain market share, even if it helps sales volume.
Trading margin for volume.
Could be. Also, higher than expected research and development or SG&A expenses from launching these new models, that could hit the bottom line. Maybe cautious guidance due to macroeconomic uncertainties in China, or even renewed cash burn concerns, despite the recent equity placement. Any of those could contribute to a negative reaction.
So, two very distinct paths, each with compelling arguments. It could really go either way, it seems. Given that dichotomy, what's the single most important thing for you to watch in this report? What's the one number that cuts through all the noise and tells us the real story?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think the key metric to watch above all others is definitely the vehicle gross margin trajectory.
Vehicle gross margin.
Yes. This is the most critical indicator of NIO's path to sustainable profitability amidst that intense pricing competition in the EV space. It tells us how efficiently they're building and selling their core product and whether they can actually scale profitably. If that margin continues its upward trend, it signals underlying strength, almost regardless of the headline revenue or EPS number. If it falters, it flags deeper concerns about their ability to monetize their growth long term.
That's a clear focus point. Vehicle gross margin.
Yeah.
Got it. Given everything we've discussed, the historical performance, recent catalysts, the market's high expectations in these potential scenarios, what's your overall leaning heading into these earnings, and what are some considerations for different types of investors looking at NIO right now?
Okay, my overall leaning is cautiously bullish, let's put it that way, with what I'd call a confidence score of maybe 6 out of 10.
Cautiously bullish, 6 out of 10. Why the caution?
Well, what's fascinating here is that NIO's recent operational momentum with successful new model launches like the ONVO L90 and ES8, coupled with strong delivery numbers, it really provides a solid foundation. That's the bullish part. However, the stock's significant 53.6% year-to-date rally and its elevated valuation metrics create that distinct risk of a sell-the-news reaction, even if they deliver a modest beat.
The rally itself is the risk factor.
Exactly. The good news might already be heavily priced in, making the immediate upside potential perhaps more constrained than some might hope.
So how should different investors approach this?
Right. It depends on your risk tolerance. For risk-averse investors, it might be prudent to consider taking some profits on existing positions, maybe trimming a bit, or perhaps avoiding new exposure altogether right before the report. Given those elevated technical indicators and the big pre-earnings run-up, the potential for a pullback is real.
Makes sense. What about bolder investors?
For those who are risk-tolerant, an options strategy like a straddle could be interesting. It aims to capitalize on that high implied volatility, remember, 81% to 89%, and the expected 10-12% post-earnings move. Essentially, a long straddle allows you to profit significantly if the stock makes a big move in either direction, up or down, precisely because the market is expecting such volatility.
Betting on the move itself.
Exactly. A long straddle with a September 2 expiration, maybe around a $6.50 strike, could potentially benefit from that expected swing.
And for the long-term believers.
Finally, for long-term investors who really believe in NIO's multi-brand strategy and their unique battery swap technology moat, current levels could still present a reasonable entry point, especially if there's any post-earnings dip. There seems to be strong technical support noted around the $5.40 level.
So for you, our listener, it's really about weighing that undeniable operational strength and long-term vision against the market's current, maybe overheated, enthusiasm, and the clear potential for short-term volatility. A nuanced picture for sure, with different plays for different investor profiles. Well, that was a thorough look at NIO's upcoming Q2 2025 earnings report from what to expect, its history of market reactions, recent catalysts, current market sentiment, and those potential scenarios. It's clear there's a lot to consider as we approach September 2nd. As you consider all this, here's a final provocative thought for you to mull over. Beyond the immediate numbers for Q2, how will NIO's evolving multi-brand strategy, especially with the apparent early success of ONVO, truly redefine its position in the fiercely competitive global EV market, not just for this quarter, but for the entire decade ahead? thank you for joining us on Investing Talk Podcast. We hope this is giving you a clearer picture of what to watch. Until next time.